Hello, everybody. We're back for another more parz video. Yes, if you're wondering, the two other videos that came out this week were recorded at the same time as this one. I'm recording them in sequence, so I don't have full time to fully read any comments or stuff that might be left below the other two videos. But by the week after this one, I'll have enough time to read comments if anyone left any comments for what they might want to see me react to, because I'm willing to react to most stuff because I know I need more stuff to react to, and I can find stuff on my own that I can react to if it's needed. But if you want to see something that want to see my reaction to something, just let me know in the comments below, or yeah, no, just let me know in the comments below. But let us begin.
Sharks are taking drugs.
What?
Hey,
Why are
recently,
they
scientists in the
taking-
Caribbean made quite
How?
possibly the most fucking terrifying discovery since the advent of the job application. You
The
see,
advent
they
of
were
the job
conducting a
application?
study on ocean pollution, and part of that study involved blood testing 28 sharks in the region.
Why?
And when Shark RBT pulled two of Jaws' cousins over for a random test, they tested positive for cocaine.
How?
They also tested positive for caffeine and painkillers, which begs the question: how
Is it
the
from people
did a
dumping
great
stuff in
white
there?
shark get great white blow? Well, no, they aren't doing a Narcos season in Bikini Bottom. No, sharks having the bloodstream of an Eshe in a nightclub is our fucking fault.
Yeah, that's what I
You see,
figured.
tourists and rich cunts absolutely love to swing their yachts into the Caribbean, throw parties, get shit-faced, and presumably fall into the water. And I don't
Fall
know if
into
you
the
know this,
water?
but rich people do illegal shit, which is how some Wall
Really? They do illegal stuff and get away with it? Because they're rich? I would have never guessed that.
Street banker decides he wants to partake in some nose beers, and in his excitement, knocks the rest of the devil's dandruff into the ocean. Jaws
And then,
swims along,
yeah.
thinks it's food, and
And
takes a
eats it.
bite. And thus, hey presto, Coke sharks.
First time trying a cigarette? Let's chase the buzz. I'm fucking tweaking!
Wild sharks, this monkey is getting bullied.
How?
But why?
Why you bullying me?
Aren't those
We see
bad?
this is Punch, a Japanese macaque whose mother,
Ah.
immediately after giving birth to him, went out for milk and cigarettes.
So she left him.
So already not off to a great start
Wait,
in life,
wait,
and
wait,
for
wait,
milk
what
and
did it
cigarettes.
say? If you abandon it, won't pay child support.
So already not off to a great start in life, and things would not be getting easier for Punch. You see, he was born in captivity at Japan's Ichikawa Zoo, which meant that he was then introduced to the rest of the macaque population alone. No parents, no friends, nothing. But surely, it's all up from here. He might be alone now, but at least he can start making friends with his fellow primates, right? Yeah, unfortunately, macaques treat the new kid in school about as well as Family Guy treats Meg. These guys have a very complex social hierarchy, and unlike high school, it is enforced with bullying. So far, Punch has been smacked, dragged, and bitten, basically to tell him that he can't sit with them at their lunch table. And the bullying he cops is made worse by the fact there's no one to protect him because his mum,
Yeah.
And then after jumping him, they won't even let him get a fucking hug. Now, faced with such adversity, a lesser monkey would crumble and try to leave. But making the story infinitely sadder, Punch runs off to the closest thing to family he has. A plush orangutan gifted to him by the zookeepers to try and replace his mum. When stressed, he hugs it and tries to get it to hug him back, No, I'm not fucking crying. Someone's cutting onions in here.
She's actually pretty good at that.
However, despite the absolutely horrendous character development he's gone through, Punch has finally managed to start making some friends. Which is good, because for a monkey, he got off light. Had he been born a chimp, when they don't like one another, they rip each other's testicles off with their fucking teeth.
What?
This monkey is
That's
getting
wild.
bullied. People hate this groundhog. But why?
I'm like, what is it
Why?
Well, because this is no ordinary hog. This distinguished gentleman is Punxsutawney Phil, a resident of the US of A, specifically the town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where he has a very important job. He predicts the weather. And he does it through the Groundhog Day ceremony. But what the f*** is that? Well, basically, every year on the 2nd of February, crowds gather at the Gobbler's Knob. Stop laughing. It's a very serious ceremony. Quit
Is
it.
it?
And then, at dawn, the unbelievably dripped out inner circle of the Groundhog Club retrieve the allegedly 140-year-old Phil from
140-year-old. If groundhogs live like 3 to 6 years, like it said, they have to be replacing it every year.
his knob. Phil then selects a scroll from the tip of the knob based on whether or not he saw his shadow when being yanked from his home. And if he did see his shadow, winter will last for 6 more weeks. And this year, Phil has predicted 6 more weeks of Mayolt. And for some reason,
6
this
weeks
year,
of winter.
that prediction has royally pissed off many people online. See, I just think he's doing his fucking job. But the tweet that shared his prediction has some of the most angry yet fucking hilarious responses.
Why would these responses
And
be?
I made this video to read you the best of them. Turn him into a steak. That groundhog is going in the microwave.
Hey.
If I saw Punxsutawney Phil, I would punt him like a football.
It was just violent.
Last but not least, POV, you are the deep fryer at Raising Cane.
It was violent. Winter shortened. Everyone's violent towards
People,
it.
this pig went on an alcoholic rampage. No, that's not clickbait. This really happened. And as with all good drunken rampages, our story takes place in fucking Australia. More specifically,
Yeah, that
it starts in the
tracks.
middle of fucking nowhere, WA, where a couple blokes were out camping. And as any good Australian would, these lads brought with them the camping essentials. Let's see here, we've got the swags, box of snags from Woolies, and most important of all, beers. And those beers are why, at 4 in the fucking morning, these lads were suddenly ripped from sleep by a really weird sound. A low snuffling and grunting noise, followed by the sound of bending aluminium. So, to
Aluminum?
ensure they weren't being attacked by, pick a native Australian animal, they got out of their tents, turned on a torch, and shined a light at it. And what they found was a wild pig shotgunning all of their piss. And I don't mean 1 or 2 beers. No. Daddy Pig was on a serious bender because he managed to down 18 fucking cans.
18 cans?
Now, fun fact about beers. Once you hit the 18 mark, all of your stats are redistributed into strength and you gain the frenzy debuff. This is why, after being spotted by the torch, the pig fucking sonicked away from the now empty 6-packs, knocked over the garbage cans, paused, turned around and ate the garbage, then continued sprinting to a nearby paddock where it started headbutting a fucking cow. This really pissed off the cow,
Ah,
who
and it
turned
kicked
around to
it.
face the pig. And it was at this point, looking up at the very pissed off Big Mac, the pig realised he genuinely wasn't built for this shit. Yeah, this little piggy turned around and fucking booked it out of the paddock, being closely pursued by the ghost of burgers past.
Ah, so the cow followed it.
Chased him around a car for 10 minutes before giving up, leaving the still drunk pig to stumble away and pass out in a fucking bush.
Ah, they're complete.
This pig, this is the world's fastest chicken.
Fast.
Yeah, this is the Tasmanian native hen. Except no one
Tasmanian
fucking
native
calls it that
hen.
shit. We call it the turbo chook.
So much.
This bad boy is from the land down under. More
Ah.
specifically, it's only found in my home state of Tasmania. And as you may
Australian
have guessed by that
Alabama.
nickname, Lightning McChicken here is built for exactly one purpose. Speed.
I am speed.
But before I address it violating the speed limit, I've got to address the fact that it's a fucking fraud. So despite that name, it is not remotely related to a chicken.
What is
It's
it
actually
then?
from a family of waterfowl called rails. It's around 50 centimeters long, tips the scales at 1.5 kilos, and importantly, cannot fly for shit.
Ah, so that's why it's
In
fast.
fact, it is completely flightless. And that is a
Yeah.
little bit of an issue because this is Australia, where at any
Side-
given
7,000
point, this
soldiers
mobile
in a
KFC
trench
bucket
coat.
is a rock's throw from a fucking snake.
Yeah.
However, Sonic the Hedgehog didn't trade in that pilot license for nothing. See, they still have wings. They just don't use them to fly. They use them as a spoiler, because when threatened, they don't fuck off into the clouds. No, Hen Racer here just drops gear into first, punches the throttle,
And
and
books it.
fucking tears off at 52 kilometers an hour.
Huh.
I don't think you understand how fucking insane it is for something the size of a chihuahua to break the speed limit in a school zone. So let me make a comparison to Australia's other flightless bird, the one we lost to war to.
Emus.
Emus are 2 meters tall, and when they run, they cover 3 meters per step. That is a total of 6 whole native hens per single emu footstep. So you would assume the emu gaps the fucking hen, right?
Yes.
Wrong. Ken Verstappen and the war turkey are the same speed.
How?
The fuck?
How are they the same
This
speed?
is the world's... Scientists have created a new fish.
Oh, great.
And the best part is that it was a fucking accident. You see,
An
this
accident?
is a sturtlefish. And it is found absolutely fucking nowhere in the wild. No, this genetic accident is a nature mod produced exclusively in a single facility in Savosh, Hungary. You see, the sturtlefish is a cross between the Russian sturgeon and the American paddlefish. And in the wild, the only way that hookup's happening is Discord, because they live on opposite sides of the fucking planet.
Oh, well, princess.
But this ain't the wild. This is Hungary's Fishing and Aquaculture Institute, Haki, where a group of researchers is trying to figure out how the fuck to repopulate the critically endangered Russian sturgeon using a neat trick
Critically endangered.
called gynogenesis.
I know Genesis.
What the fuck is that? Well, you see, usually when sturgeons reproduce, the females lay a shitload of eggs in the water, which are then fertilized by the males. This fertilization requires 2 of the same species to tango, with 50% of the offspring DNA being contributed from the egg and 50% from the source. In gynogenesis, 100% of the offspring's DNA is contributed by the mother. Now, because sturgeons can't do this naturally, the researchers hatched a plan. They would take sperm from the far less endangered American paddlefish and microwave that shit with UV radiation, destroying the DNA it carries, but still allowing it to stimulate the egg into growing without the father's DNA, and thus
How would that work? though?
gynogenesis. But There's a problem. The paddlefish was just a little too genetically similar to the sturgeon, and they did not leave the swimmers in the microwave long enough. So instead of a bunch of perfect little sturgeon babies, we got the sturtlefish, which is a literal genetic dead end. It is incapable of reproducing. I feel bad for it. It was an accident and it gets no bitches. Abysmal existence, RNG.
Let's go gambling! Oh, dang it.
So wait a second. So genetic dead ends. I think I heard of this before. Genetic dead ends are when the species can't breed or something, I think. I don't know entirely. That's interesting. That's half why people shouldn't mess with nature, because it's bound to create accidents like that, and more creatures are likely to be born that have just like a mix of two things that would never naturally happen.
This turtle breathes through its butt.
What?
No,
Why?
this is not a joke. This is a Fitzroy River turtle, native to the
River
land down
turtle.
under, and as with most of the shit found in God's drafts folder, its existence begs a single question. Fucking why? Well, these little guys are
Why?
freshwater bottom feeders, snatching and consuming the children of aquatic insects and munching down on the occasional ribbonweed salad. And as with most river turtle species, this requires them to spend most of their time in the water. Now, rather than doing what most turtles do and developing an insane lung capacity, the Fitzroy decided to evolve a set of gills alongside their lungs to allow them to stay underwater for 3 weeks at a time.
3 weeks at a time.
3 weeks later.
I wish I had those lungs.
However, when placing the gills, God was absolutely fucking plastered. And instead of placing them on the neck like a normal animal, he slipped on a beer can and not only placed them on its ass, but inside of it.
What?
You know what makes this even worse? Turtles do not have a single purpose hole like you or me. They have a cloaca, which is the fucking Swiss Army knife of holes. This means that Fitzroy River turtles shit, piss, breathe, and fucking mate out of the same hole. This turtle.
Interesting. This is definitely very interesting.
You ever wonder how different Christmas is in Australia? Well,
Yes.
wonder no longer, because I'm here to tell you that, like the rest of the country, it's fucking cursed. First off, our
Ow.
Christmas is in the dead centre of summer, which means that rather than waking up to a lovely white Christmas, we wake up and immediately start melting into a puddle because it's 35 fucking degrees outside and the aircon's broken. With this
So Christmas for them is in the middle of the summer, which would make it winter for. I know it's winter in the U.S. when it's summer in the in Australia because of the way the Earth rotation, the rotation of the sun, Earth. It's either rotation or revolving of the Earth. I forget which one it is. I want to say it's the revolving of Earth around the sun, and as certain continents get further away from the sun, it gets colder, and you know how it is. It's like 8th grade science, I think.
change in weather comes a change in work uniform for old Santa Claus, trading out the usual red and white for a singlet and a pair of thongs. Because to quote the big man himself, fuck wearing that shit, it's too hot. St. Nick has also bought himself a new whip, trading out the sleigh for a, quote, rusty old ute, and firing Rudolph and all of his fucking blades, replacing them with, I shit you not, kangaroos. You may think I'm bullshitting you, which is fair, but no, I'm not. We even have a song about it.
Dashing through the bush in a rusty Holden ute.
Santa also has had a significant change in diet in the land down under, as rather than the usual milk and cookies, my parents told me to make sure to leave a few nice cold beers out on the countertop for old Santa, which, knowing what I do now, was absolutely just an excuse for my parents to pre-game Christmas Day, but I also can't think of anything more Australian than turning a jolly old man into a raging fucking alcoholic. You ever wonder how different Christmas is in BMW? Yet the car company has an emu farm. But
An
what
emu
the
farm.
f do the Germans want with our steroid chickens? Well, you see, a lot of complex parts have to come together to build a car. I mean, your transmission, your engine, I would say indicators, but we are talking about BMW here. However, the first thing you'll notice about a car is usually the simplest, the paint. Yeah, it doesn't really matter
What
how
about
nice
the
your
paint?
car is. If the paint's peeling off like a banana, people are going to assume it's a fucking shitbox. And that's why car companies put a lot of time and research into making sure the paint stays on your car while you slide it sideways into a tree.
Oh, you slide it sideways into a tree.
One of the best ways to do that is fucking clean it. See, anything that isn't wiped off the car gets stuck under the paint when it's applied, which fucks up adhesion by moving around. And even the tiniest particles of dust can fuck it all up. So, the Germans pondered, what is the best way to make sure every panel is spotless? And the answer they landed on is a giant fuck-off duster made of Australia's favourite feathered war criminals. And it wasn't just BMW that found this out, but Audi as well. Now, Audi gets their dino turkey feathers from the source, shipping directly from the land down under.
¿Quieres?
Now, BMW used to do the same thing, till someone at head office had a thought. Hang on, the feathers. If we ship over 4 emus and place them in a grid, infinite feather source. And so they airdropped Australia's big birds onto a farm in Bavaria, where a small
Germany.
sleeper cell of Australia's most wanted resides to this day. The funny part of this to me is that BMW went so far as shipping kaiju turkeys to make the paint on their cars look good.
For
Just
real.
for some TikToker to buy it for clout, wrap it bright purple, and then crash it into a fucking wall.
You know the funniest part about all this? It only takes one bird it only takes 2 birds escaping to make it an invasive species. Because if a male and a female escape, they're more than likely not going to get caught, and they're going to more than likely breed and become a problem for that area. So, I wonder if that has ever happened before, or if it hasn't happened before, it's gonna happen because people make mistakes, and it's gonna happen eventually. The last short.
This isn't a snake, it's a bug.
How? It looks like a
This
snake.
is the very creatively named snake-headed caterpillar, found wriggling around in South
caterpillar?
America,
Oh,
and the
of course,
reason
in
they're
South
dressed up
America.
like the average Australian resident is to scare people. See, caterpillars exist for exactly one reason, to spin up a cocoon and Pokemon evolve into a
Into the
moth
butterfly?
butterfly.
Our moth. You caterpillar has
Now,
evolved
in
into
order
a
to
lamb.
achieve this, they need to be not fucking dead, which is a little difficult when everything under the sun is trying to eat them. Mission failed. Birds, wasps, spiders, frogs, you name it, they all look at a caterpillar as the world's freest meal. I mean, it's basically a sentient, slow-moving hot dog with zero escape strategy. So,
Yeah,
how
that
does
is
the very
true.
hungry caterpillar avoid the very hungry everything else?
Hello.
Well, some choose camouflage, others become more toxic than a league lobby. But the snakehead chose cosplay. Well, if you want to get technical, the scientific term is mimicry. As we've established,
that's right, isn't
caterpillars
scientific
are
term
weak,
mimicry?
light work for their predators. You know what isn't light work?
The snake.
A fucking snake. Which is why when threatened, these little guys will force air and blood into their head, causing it to inflate. They then shake that shit in the air, perfectly mimicking a venomous snake. Whatever was about to eat them sees their free meal turn into fucking rattlesnake Jake, becomes shit scared, and runs the fuck away.
That's very
You know, now that
creative.
I'm thinking about it, its entire defense is just becoming a scary, wacky, waving tube man. This
That's a very creative defensive strategy. I kind of like that. It's like really creative for that. But as that was a 10th short, that is all for this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I would really appreciate if you did. And I thank anyone who watches until the end of these videos because they do take time to record and sometimes edit, and time is the most precious resource we have. So I thank anyone for taking the time to watch this video. And keep and until the next time, I'll see everyone there. Keep gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.